September Morn, A Tale of 9/11, Part 10 of 19. The Porters were riding leisurely, out for some Sunday recreation. Maggie led the way, followed by Ethel and Sid had tail. The parents tended to hug the far right side of the trail, but the little girl, though definitely keeping right of center, was more comfortable with at least a foot or so of asphalt between her and the drop-off that bordered the Cedar River Trail. As they entered the blind curve, another group of cycling enthusiasts came barreling by them, catching Maggie off guard. The girl wobbled and gasped, but managed to stay upright. "Hey, asshats! Watch it!" Sydney screamed at the bikers before adding, "You okay, Mags?" "Yes," she replied, continuing on without stopping, "but that wasn't my fault." "No, sweetie, it wasn't," Eighth assured her. "They shouldn't have passed there. I'm glad you're okay." The weather was perfect, and the light trail traffic passed without further incidents. When they got to Sokol Park and Czech Village a short while later, Maggie asked if they could stop and play on the playground equipment. "Not yet," Sydney answered. "How about on the way home?" "Please," Maggie pleaded. "Nope, not yet," he answered. Ethel turned her head around to smile at her husband. Margaret said, "Fine," but kept going. After crossing the Cedar River via the 16th Avenue Bridge, they took the trail north through town, including the glorified sidewalk between 1st and 4th Avenues. Just north of J Avenue, they came to another park with playground equipment, and Maggie asked if they could stop here for a play break. "Absolutely," Sydney replied. "I was going to ask if you wanted to, just before we turned around." "Turn around?" Maggie asked. "Are we going to Parlor City for ice cream?" "Yeah," Ethel joined in. "You promised." "Well, we could, but they don't open until 11, Sydney replied. "That's almost 2 hours. "Well, what about our ice cream?" Ethel wanted to know. "Well, we'll get some on the way home," Sid promised. "Fine," Ethel submitted, "but I think you may be taking that bribe versus reward thing a bit too far." The porters put their bikes in the rack, took long swigs of water, and removed their helmets. Ethel and Sydney played with Maggie for a few minutes, but when 3 other children arrived at the park, the 2 adults took seats on the bench. Margaret seemed to be enjoying herself, so the parents were content to sit in the sun and let their daughter play. But when the trio had to go, Ethel called out to Maggie, "You ready to head home?" "Yes," Margaret replied, "but don't forget the ice cream." "We won't forget," Sydney answered. "Everyone have enough water?" "Yes, let's go," Maggie answered, and the porters retraced their 6-mile route in reverse.